Yep, even with the Doppler weather radar, you're still going to get caught in a thunderstorm. And when you do, it's a good idea to just dig in like a tick in your vehicle, keep your head down, and wait for the thing to go by. That's one thing we know about thunderstorms. They go by pretty quick. I'm here at a nice reservoir with the idea that I'm going to prospect the shoreline. There's a lot of shoreline I can walk here and basically throw the flies, the Euro nymph, the dry fly, the streamer. See what I can pick off in terms of warm water fish, and it's a deep reservoir with many holdover trout. Not that I'm looking to stress out the trout, but if one is foolish enough, I'll call it incidental bycatch. As soon as the rain stops falling. You don't want to rush it. It's still blowing over, but the fresh water coming into the lake, there's going to be a lot of little rivulets. You can see that this lake has got a very steep drainage. Probably is going to make a difference, activating the fish just below the thermocline. And this is a deep lake, so that thermocline is only 6-8 feet offshore. So you can see the line of thunderstorms has apparently passed, and the sun's in the west, so that's over here, and that would mean we're going to be in the sunshine as soon as the last of this anvil cloud gets over me. Now these anvils can go out 3, 4, 5 miles beyond the center of a thunderstorm, so you really need to be careful when a thunderstorm is going by. If you're worried about getting hit by lightning, and you should be, really. But I haven't heard lightning in a half an hour. Well, thunder in a half an hour. So check out this lake right now. It's beautiful. A little bit of a northeast wind, or maybe almost an east wind. You can see the rugged mountains on the other side here. You got Barkhamsted Reservoir, maybe 6 miles away, and the Farmington River comes through here. Big, beautiful, deep reservoir built by the Army Corps of Engineers back in the 60s to hold back the waters of the Farmington and prevent another 55 flood. It also generates power, as does the reservoir just below it, and it's a beautiful fishery that Connecticut does a great job with. No swimming. This lake is controlled by the Army Corps of Engineers. Army Corps of Engineers rules are no swimming. And I'll come up here every once in a while and just throw offshore like I'm going to do today. I'm going to take a walk down to where old Route 8 goes into the reservoir, and you can see where there's a cut where it once upon a time went under the wings of that mountain right there. An old road cut. Now this reservoir goes up in the spring. It goes way up into the trees. We can actually probably see a water line up here. These trees will be buried. I might even be over my head right now if it was springtime. And it's always cool when you come here with a kayak in the spring and you know the road is here. And I remember as a younger guy, I'd always think, I gotta work the road. There's going to be fish all over the road. I don't know why they'd be all over the road. They'd be more likely to be. Look at that little rivulet, right? Just thunderstorm. Now that fresh water, we call it a freshet, would be running into the reservoir right here on this side of the road, which would mean there's some fresh water coming out in there. Nice, clean, oxygenated, cool water. And why is it cool? Because that rain is running through the soil, and it's going to cool it down. The soil temperature down only a couple feet is 56, 57 degrees. So when it gets down into the soil, it cools down nicely. And this is a rock hound's paradise right here. I mean, you can come here and just find all kinds of beautiful minerals. We are at the end of what is called the Berkshires of Massachusetts, right? The Berkshires of Massachusetts end at the mountains that you see right there that are kind of buried in the mist. But it's the same mountain range. It's a part of the Green Mountains from way up in Vermont. It's the southern foot of the Green Mountains. And so you have this beautiful, look at the pegmatites right here. See that? See that white band there, and there's another white band there, and there's another nice white band over here. You can see it. This is a pegmatite. So what was going on was magma came up, got into a crack in the rock, and then cooled really slowly, which allowed it to crystallize. Like you can see, look at that. I think that's quartz. I'm not an expert geologist by any means, but this is really cool stuff. Just sitting here looking at me and looking at you if you're watching the video. Look at how beautiful that is. And it's all exposed. What's cool about this is it's a road cut from 70 years ago, 80 years ago. And it's getting washed by the reservoir. As you can see from the dead brush here, and it keeps these rocks clean so you can really check out the pegmatites. Maybe find a porphyry, maybe strike it rich, find yourself garnets, find yourself sapphires, or even rubies, because the Berkshires has them, believe it or not. Nobody knows that, but that's true. Well, people do know it, but they don't like broadcast it like I do. I just think it's cool. I'm not looking to steal your rubies. I just think it's neat to think that the land that I live in has got such geological wonder behind it, right? Caused by 3 massive collisions over millions and millions of years, right? From the time of Pangea. And you can look over here. You see this bay. It's very deep. And I usually do, look at the water line. You can see the water line, how high this lake gets. See that? That's all pollen. That's a strip of pollen forming a water line over there. That's really cool. And you can see the road goes into the water right here, and there's your island. There's another island over there. I fished this last spring, and just the tips of those bushes were out of the water, so it was way up. And now they draw it down. They draw this reservoir down, and in anticipation of Otis Reservoir being drained as of Columbus Day. So this thing's going to go down. When I say this is going to go down, we're talking about this thing goes down 200, 150 feet. Some years you can see bridges, old bridges. There's 2 old bridges, one over here and one up the lake, that connected roads that went from former State Route 8 out into the Heartland area, which is to my right, or the Tallinn, New Boston, Sandusfield area, which is to my left. So a little bit of history behind the reservoir. Now how about a little bit of fishing? Let's see what happens. So I have a stimulator on, not a very big one. I had it on the other day at the Housatonic, and it's still on. So even though it's wet, I'm going to give it a few casts. I'm trying to see if I can dry it out. Oh, look at it, landed right there. Now, what are we looking for here? Crappie, bass, pumpkin seeds. I'm just looking to catch some fish, that's all. Just looking to have a little bit of fun. No pressure. It was a 90-degree day here. We had the thunderstorm. I decided I was going to go to one of the rivers. I was thinking about going to Farmington, and I'm like, yeah, what the heck? Just a little low impact, little fun fishing off the shore here. Let me just have some fun. Like the old days, like when you're a kid. So, drying it off and letting it go. Oh yeah. Look at that, lands right there. Oh, thunderstorm passed. Oh, there's going to be bugs flying, and they're just going to land like that right there. Oh. I give it a little bit of a pop in fresh water like this in a still pond. A little bit of motion. And I'm moving back. Slowly dragging it, the old drag trick. Seeing if I can stimulate one of these crazies to bash it. Now this lake's got a lot of great fish in it. Connecticut, as I say, does a great job. Well, nothing yet. Okay. Hank would yell at me because he likes me to take my time more. He says I'm a little too quick. But I get impatient. I feel like you get a lot of hits within just a few feet of drying it out. Within like 20 seconds of when it lands. Like that. I get him on the reel. I got me one. Oh no. A nasty smallmouth just bashed it. You see him? He's crazy. He just took it. Wham. Look at him. I was a little slow on the hook set there. He's not a big one, but there's some hogs in here. There always were. Come up here, boy. Oh yeah. There he is. Second-year bass. He would have been born last year. Fly guy in the Northeast is an interesting critter. A lot of fly guys only want trout. And why limit yourself? Why not get out and have a little bit of fun and develop your skills on some of the other great fish that we have that you don't have to catch out of cold water. You know, you can catch some great smallmouth bass. They're going to fight like crazy. You're going to do all the jumping that a rainbow trout does and all the digging that a brown trout does. They're going to bend your rod. They're going to test your gear and your ability, and you're not killing them, you know. You guys are going to catch them and let them go. Why do you want to kill them? Oh, it's just sitting on the top right there. I can see it. Yeah. I've got my sandals on. I'm waiting because it's boiling hot, and I figured I'd get out and cool myself out with a little bit of a wade. And I thought about the Farmington, but if you do that in the Farmington, and I was going to, the problem is the water's cold. I did it last year in early July, and I was out of the water in seconds. I felt like I was in. Have you ever been to Maine in the early season and gone in the ocean, and you know you're at a Gunkwood or York or Wells, and you go in the water and you come out like a scalded dog because the water's so cold? If you haven't had that experience, I mean, are you really a New Englander? The beaches of Maine are beautiful for seals. The seals don't even want to be there. The seals are down at Cape Cod now. Why would they stay in Maine? What's the upside? Even seals get cold. Have you heard? Oh, look at it. Right in front of the brush. Now you know smallmouth, especially with water coming down. The water's coming down. It's probably going down 6 inches a day. Smallmouth are going to be hanging up on the structure as the lake retreats. And, you know, they're getting pulled down. And the babies, the young of the year, are getting pulled. Oh, little guy just came up and gave it a bang. I saw, oh, yep. It's probably a first-year bass. A little smallmouth is hitting it. We don't want to catch a 2-inch. They're not even, are they? Yeah, probably about an inch long right now. So I made a change. I put this really ugly foam terrestrial on, which works for brookies, and it'll probably work for smallmouth. And we'll see. We're just having fun. I made some of these, and I got to get some different color foam. So I switched it up, got rid of the wind knot on my leader, and decided to go with a legged stimulator. And I've always liked the stimulator. I've always had good luck on the stimulator. And there it is. It lands nice, you know. It's oh, look at him go. Look at Mr. Smallmouth go. I'm being gentle with him. He couldn't help himself. He had to get the stimulator all wet, right? Oh yeah, he had to get it soaking wet. He couldn't let the 3-pound smallmouth that was eyeing it hit it. He had to hit it. Oh no. Oh, there he is, right out. Where is it? There he is. Whoop! He hit the water, luckily. There's not a lot of crystal clear lakes in the Berks. The ones that are crystal clear because of their bottom composition and usually because of their drainage. They have a very shallow drainage. I just had one come up behind it. Come on, don't be afraid. Yeah, there we are. That's a good fish. That's a good smallmouth. Finally. All right. I can't believe I finally got me a decent smallmouth here in the gloaming. This is how it's supposed to be. Oh, look at him tail walking. He's totally shocked. He was hitting this. Oh, yeah, he was hitting this little nymph. I mean, well, he's like, nobody throws these little things anymore. Everybody's throwing the big bass, you know, spinner bass. Oh, look at him go. Look at him go. Oh, lucky I got my thumb or my finger gently on the line as he fights his way across in front of me. You can only put so much pressure on these guys. Look at him go. He's heading down for the dam. He wants to get into my... Look at how deep he is right now. He's going straight down. Look at the angle of the line. So consider how deep this is right off where I am. This is really deep. Now, is he getting tired? See, now, we don't want to get him too tired. We want to let him go and do his thing. Here he comes. Oh, yes! Oh, that's cool. Uh-oh. He's just going, he's diving. I don't know what, you know, he was like, hey, I got me one here. He thought he had himself a little tail walk there. He thought he had himself a lovely morsel. You know, he wasn't expecting a sting, and he got stung. I can't horse him. I've only got 3-pound test tippet on the end. So I've got to take it easy. And if he gets off, he gets off. Well, we're having fun. But look at how deep he's going. He's just going right down. He's either jumping or he's diving. And smallmouth are famous for that last burst they give you when they get close and they see the boat or they see you. They all of a sudden make a run. That's where most people lose them. So here I am. I'm lifting the pole tip. We got it right in the bottom jaw. He's not huge, but hey, that was a cool fight by you. Oh, no. Oh, no. There we go. So he's not huge, but he gave me a great fight. Nice. Mr. Smallmouth. So you don't always have to hit a river. I mean, it's the summertime. It's hot. Give him a break. Go out and throw for bass. This guy gave me one heck of a fight. And he'll give you one heck of a fight because he's going right back in the water. Get going, boy. There he goes. And with the gloaming surrounding me here, I'm going to head for the hills. I was just waiting for an attack like that, and that was a lot of fun. So we're fishing a historic place here, an Army Corps reservoir. There's Army Corps reservoirs all over southern New England, central New England, and probably northern New England too. Get out and find one and hit it.